Hello, how are you all doing? Happy New Year of 2021 and best wishes for a Happy New Year. Today I am back with some news that analyzes and sends important US policies from a new angle. Z News is entering the new year of 2021, so let's look at the big picture of global economic growth. 1. If COVID-19 is controlled, the global economy can grow by 4.0%. On January 5th, the World Bank presented forecasts for the global economic growth rate from last year, 2020, and the economic growth rate this year, 2021. Due to the impact of COVID-19 in 2020, the economy recorded its worst downturn after World War II. But this year, 2021, if a good environment is created, a 4% economic growth rate will be possible. However, this year's 4% economic growth rate has a condition, which is the control of COVID-19. The World Bank believes that COVID-19 will have the greatest impact on this year's economic growth rate. It also presented a pessimistic forecast that if COVID-19 is not properly controlled, this year's growth will be only 1.6%. So, what is the global economic growth rate for last year, 2020, suggested by the World Bank? The World Bank estimated the economic growth rate last year at minus 4.3%, the worst number since World War II. In 1945, after World War II, the growth rate was minus 9.8%. There was a case of negative growth in 2009, when the global financial crisis was in recent years. In 2009, when the financial crisis hit minus 1.8%, the international economy was in great trouble, but the international community experienced the worst economic situation since World War II in 2020. The US growth rate is from minus 3.6% last year, 2020, to 3.5% this year, 2021. When looking at the forecast for next year, 2021, the outlook by country is very important. The World Bank predicted the growth rate in the United States from minus 3.6% last year, 2020, to 3.5% this year, 2021. The Eurozone is forecast to grow from minus 7.4% last year to 3.6% this year, and Japan forecasts 2.5% from minus 5.3% last year. In addition, China, where COVID-19 was first started, projected a growth rate of 2.0% last year, 2020, and 7.9% this year, 2021. The World Bank analyzed the reason why the international community achieved such a worst growth after World War II was because of COVID-19. The World Bank explained that COVID-19 spread unexpectedly around the world, and this forced many developed countries to implement a low investment, low employment policy in 2020. If the difficulties of COVID-19 do not overcome, the global growth rate will slow down over the next 10 years, and 2020 could be the first year of the lost global economy. Meanwhile, President of the World Bank David Malpass said, the lowest income group has been hit hardest by the recession, and unfortunately, they predicted that they will face the greatest difficulties in economic adjustment after COVID-19, such as job recovery and vaccination. 2. Quantitative growth of real estate and stock markets. If the U.S. economic growth rate changes from minus 3.6% last year, 2020, to 3.5% this year, 2021, it will show a growth of more than 7% compared to the previous year. Although this rate of economic growth is less than the level of recovery from pre-COVID-19, it is of great significance because it predicts a favorable economic environment in which the U.S. economy can recover with new momentum. U.S. economic recovery is expected to be greatly influenced by the economic policies of the central government and banks. The Federal Reserve System and the Central Bank of the United States will implement quantitative easing and low interest rate policies that provide continuous liquidity to the market. If this happens, the real economy in the United States is very likely to lead to quantitative growth in the real estate and stock markets. So this year, we need to focus on the real estate and stock markets and watch the U.S. economic market grow in quantity. Today, based on the forecast of the global economic growth rate, we projected the possibility of the global economy in 2021. One thing that is certain at this point is that the international community is expected to grow rapidly in quantity. Z News will accurately analyze the U.S. policy from a new angle and deliver it to you in 2021. Thank you. This is Z News from California.